Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
It's true. It's true.
And you better recognize us who the hell we are. Damn.
Stay tantalizing. Stay tantalizing.
Ooh.
Stay tantalizing.
Stay tantalizing. Stay tantalizing.
Stay tantalizing, Roddy.
Tantalizing.
Stay tantalizing. What?
Stay tantalizing, all right?
Yo, listen.
The acclaimed have arrived on Tantalizing Tony's YouTube channel.
And that's a mic drop and stay tantalizing.
Scissor me, Tantalizing Tony.
Thanks for the super chat, baby. Ding, ding.
Ding, 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 ding. What's up, everybody? I know it's early. It's me, your boy, the Tantalizer One. The set's not even put together. It's Summerslam weekend coming up, and I'm still weighing my options on if I'm going or not. But what I wanted to talk about today is good morning, everybody, no matter where you are in the country. Good morning, good evening, good night. I know on the East Coast it's 6 o'clock in the morning, and they're like, what is he doing up so early? You know, doing what I do best. Good morning, First Lady Chrissy. How are you, my dear? Mwah. Yes, I'm up early. Don't ask me why. I was thinking about doing this video. I was going to record it, but I said, why not just go live? Maybe somebody will jump in. Maybe somebody will say hi. Maybe I get one new subscriber out of it. Somebody on the West Coast or somebody overseas that might be watching YouTube wanting to know what's going on. So, I figured, hey, what the hell? So let's talk about it, everybody. And if you're in the chat, hit that like. If you're on Facebook, hi. If you're on YouTube and you're new to the channel, subscribe. So let's talk about it. What's going down? All right. SummerSlam tomorrow. Now, before I talk about what happened with this match at Monday Night Raw, let's talk about that. I just was looking at a plane ticket. Hey, what's up? OP Dilpreet, what's up from India? How you doing? I think I've seen your name before. If not, though, subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching. Yeah, I was looking at plane tickets. I just found a ticket for $200. But then I thought about this. What's up, Anthony? Good morning, my brother. I was thinking, why don't I drive? It's 11 hours. So anybody in the Delaware area that knows me that want to take a ride, I was thinking about driving. It's 11 hours. Tickets to SummerSlam are only $40. Anthony, you're a step ahead of me, bro. Give me 1 second, my brother. Sorry, everybody. This is impromptu. So I figured, hey, oh, let me close that. Let me close the share page. Be right there, everybody. There we go. I'm gonna send Richie one too. I'm gonna send both of you guys. Well, I know it's early, but maybe on the way to work. Hold up, guys. There we go. So, like I was saying, airfare is not that bad. So I'm thinking, I did some Uber last night. I made a nice little $68 last night. And, maybe if I do some Uber today all day, I can make the plane ticket money. There's a plane leaving tomorrow at 8 o'clock in the morning. So maybe I could do that too. So we'll see. Also, if anybody wants to be generous, hey, super chat feature is still not working, but you can support the channel right down there. You can support the channel by sending me a cash app if you want to help me get to Summerslam, because like I said, my super chats are not working. But like I was saying, Summerslam, it was supposed to be Riddle versus Seth, and then what happened? What happened, everybody? I'll tell you what happened. Sorry. Monday Night Raw happened. Didn't I have a graphic for this? This is why you can't do stuff when your producer's sleeping. Give me 1 second, everybody. There we go. Okay. This is what happened. So, Matt Riddle got curb stomped. And that wasn't the first. That was the first curb stomp. And yeah, you guys in the chat, I see some Bray Wyatts, I see some Edges. Well, you guys let me know who you think. Yeah, hopefully not Goldberg's, right? And I guess this is the Facebook user is Kevin, because his thing never works for some reason. But yeah, Chrissy says if Edge replaces Riddle, Beth is getting involved, no questions. Good possibility. Hopefully not Goldberg. Yeah, hopefully not. I have three potential people who I feel, who I feel could fill the spot. So, what do you guys think? So far we have not a Goldberg, we have a Bray Wyatt, we have an Edge. Anybody else in the chat have an idea of who could replace Riddle? The original bro. Oh, it's Frank. Sorry, Frank. For some reason, some people, it says Facebook user only. So UK Pat says Edge. Okay. I won't divulge my picture. I'm going to try to see if Richie or Anthony are going to jump in. But Edge is definitely a good choice. And once again, Chrissy says Edge. I don't know if those two big dudes and Seth New compare them. Oh, I got you. Roman versus Brock versus Seth. Nah, they won't throw Seth in that. I like that, Chrissy. John Moxley. It's a possibility. No, it's not gonna happen, Mamacita. No. But so let's get to my first. All I want to say is this: I don't know if you guys saw the tweet, but Seth Rollins wasn't happy. I think he's getting tired of putting people over. Let me show you the other graphic of why they put Riddle out. So this was the main reason why why Riddle's out. I know you're joking, honey. Hello, Deborah Rojo. How you doing? Hit that like, everybody. Yeah, this is at the Garden. I'm probably somewhere viewed up there. I'm probably up there somewhere in the middle area right here over Seth's head. There we go. We got Anthony. Good morning, Anthony from Tornado Tag Podcast. He's like, what are you doing up so early? Yeah, bro, listen, There's Andy getting set up. He's coming. And like I sent Richie an invite as well. I know it's early in the morning, but I figured I'd just get up and start streaming. What's up, bro?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
What's that?
Is that your fan?
I don't have my fan going.
I don't hear you like I normally hear you. It never says Rollins and AJ. Could be.
Check. Better now? Can you hear me? Yes, no?
Yes, there you go. Much better. You and your high-tech equipment.
Oh, sorry. I'm not prepared.
No, you're fine. Firstly, can I add you on Facebook? A Program Hub. This ain't a dating site, bro. Calm down. There we go, Frank. What's up? There we go, Frank Stewart. You'd like to see Seth versus AJ. Okay. He's not one of my picks. What do you think about that, Anthony? AJ replacing Riddle? Could that happen?
I think it's a safe bet. AJ can go out there And either one of them, I mean, I don't want Seth to take a loss, but at least if he loses to someone who's actively on the roster, it makes more sense than having him lose again to a surprise person.
Yeah, so you saw the tweet, right? There was a tweet that Seth put up.
Yeah, and then Tripp said, "I hear you."
Oh, wow.
Ghost.
Wow. Frank
Yeah, he said something about I won't be there, but you can sing my music or something like that. That one?
Yeah, that's one you told me about. Yeah. Well, I got three picks. Program up, I was like joking. What's up, Trevor? Good morning, bro. I got three potential picks that I believe could fill the spot. And my first one's the long shot. And let me know what you think about this one, Anthony. Edge.
I don't think that's a long shot. I think that's the most accurate.
Do you?
Yeah, I think that's the most likely.
Good morning, Antonio. I think that let me tell you why I think it's a long shot. I think there's unfinished business with Judgment Day. And I think this throws a monkey wrench in that. I think it's just.
Well, do you want to have another storyline where you're kind of sitting with Austin Theory, where he's cashing in, but then he's fighting with Ziggler, and then he has this going on and this he has like 5 different storylines going on. So Judgment Day's in the same boat. Where are they going to do the thing with Eddie? Are they doing the thing with the Mysterios? Are they doing the thing with Edge? Are they working for this? Is Rhea going for a title? I think there's too much going on with that stable. I say for now, maybe just forget the Edge thing happened. He's out. He comes back as a different person, and he's like, he puts him in the rearview mirror for now.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I sometimes you just gotta drop shit. You know what I mean? Like if it's not working, move on from it.
See, to me, that just leaves a lot of holes in like the story. Like
Sure, it's a giant hole, but do you want to see the Mysterios and Edge and then this and then it's just all shoehorned together and it's just, I don't know. To me anyway, I know it doesn't make sense, but it's just, I don't know. It's just too much. It's too busy.
Yes, Program Hub, you can add.
Now, if they would have had the opportunity to close that chapter at Raw and then build into Raw with Edge being there, sure, because they had time to prepare it, but just to show up, are you good, my guy? Like a mess, like you're upset?
No, it's a mess right now.
Oh, it's a mess. Oh, sorry. I read that wrong, but I don't know. I just think it's too much, man. Like sneak him in against Seth, but then him be like, well, Seth's my only chance to show up, but also Judgment Day. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It just.
No, I get what you're saying 100%.
And then he comes in and saves Mysterio, but he's going to be rated R superstar edgy, and then the promos are, I don't know. It's just, man, it's weird.
Yeah, I agree it's weird. And I think that if the vignettes are him, then what is that like showing up at, what does it do to go against Seth? It does nothing. What's the end game there?
The end game is he just gets his return, his pop, and then he's back. He's back active just for the night. You know what I mean? And then he can just go from there and be like, well, I beat a major contender. What's next for Edge? Is he going for a title? Is he going here? Like you can leave it open, you know?
No, I hear you.
I'd rather him come back and work in a legit match than him show up at SummerSlam and do a quick, I'm going to beat you up, you know, and then leave.
It's just out of character for them not to, well, just for Edge not to get revenge. Like what happened to them, what happened to him was just, you know.
And here's the thing: if the whole stories are true, that Edge wanted out of that stable because he didn't like the direction they wanted to go, the worst thing you can do is for him to come back and be like, "Sure, let me work against said stable I didn't want to be part of now."
That makes sense.
Just be like, cool, they kicked me out. I'm going to move on. I'm looking for a title shot. I'm looking for the last title run of my career as Edge. I just keep me as far away from this Judgment thing as possible.
Okay, that makes sense. That to me, that's a great point. That makes sense. If he was the one that chose to get out, why go back and work with the people that the gimmick that didn't work for him?
Yeah, I'm second guessing myself in all my fantasy booking. I fantasy booked last night in the podcast and I got fucking pooped on. I got shit on.
Did you?
Yeah, I listen, I get the Roman thing and I get he's been working his ass off and they're trying to make him the big dog of WWE, but my argument was if you're a superstar and you're going to beat somebody, is it bigger to beat Roman or is it bigger to beat Brock? And my argument was it's always bigger to beat Brock. Brock is more internationally known than Roman will ever be. And so my argument was if Drew has an opponent going into his to the pay-per-view over in Europe or wherever the hell it is, I think it's visually more appealing that he beats Brock more than it beats Roman. And if Roman loses on some crazy finish or something crazy happens where something bad happens or he gets screwed out of it because he's been trying to cheat the whole time, whether it be The Rock or some other form of going on with Austin Theory, failed cash-in or something, I just think Drew going big over Brock is a bigger visual look than him going big over Roman. And I think if you're internationally selling a pay-per-view, I think Brock is bigger than Roman. And it was a really big disagreement on the show.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to watch. I was running around like a crazy man yesterday.
I just gave up. I was like, I don't know what else to say. You guys win. I don't know. I bow down. You know, they also have the old school mentality where they like really long title runs and they don't like hot potato and titles. And I'm just like, dude, I'm overseeing two guys with like, I know there's been breaks here and there where Goldberg and Drew and this, but like majority for the past 5-7 years of WWE, your champion has been Brock or Roman. Like, let's take a break for a year or two with that. You know what I mean? Like,
oh no, I hear you. I think the mentality,
and before you shove Cody down my throat, let's have some fun for a little bit. You know,
I think the mentality with Roman is that when Vince was still there, that was Vince's boy, and they wanted to erase some of CM Punk's records, get those, those.
But I think he's already beat all those.
Yeah.
And I think, honestly, I think if you do book, maybe eventually Roman drops his title before he meets The Rock at Mania or anything here's your thing. If you don't get Roman at Mania, does Roman keep the title and then put over Cody Rhodes for a title shot? Like the unbeatable Brock Lesnar gets beat by Cody? Like, is that your giant buildup and that's the guy who eventually gets it? The returning Cody Rhodes? Or does Roman do a big marquee match and then somebody else maybe loses the Rhodes that doesn't have as much appeal or factor behind them, and then you build Cody Roman maybe in a year and a half or a year or two, maybe for next Mania at Philly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, gotcha. So I got a phone call. It was my mom.
You're good.
That's why I muted myself. I knew you had it. So here you go.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just it's right now. With WWE, at least, you're always booking to Mania, right? Like that's just kind of what we're bred into, where you kind of like SummerSlam's here, Mania's here. Sure, you have some other bullshit pay-per-views in there, but for the most part, you're booking towards Mania, and that's kind of where I'm always thinking when it comes to storylines is how do you wrap it up at Mania? And I don't know, just that was the debate last night, and for the most part. And it was fantasy booking. I don't think it's going to happen. I think essentially what you're going to have is you're going to have Roman probably hold it till Mania and then lose it to Cody Rhodes, which I don't get. I don't get how a guy goes on national TV for a feuding company and trashes everything you do for 2 or 3 years, and then he comes to your company and now he's the biggest company marker. You know what I mean? Like he said some shit. You know what I mean? Like, and the guy he took a lot of jabs at is now his boss and head of creative. And then he's like, oh, cool. We built Roman up for 4 or 5 years for Cody to be that guy. The guy who jumped ship, you know?
I do think that, see, to me, I don't know, man, because you know how the wrestling business works. And Cody and Triple H always had a good relationship. They had no real beef. You got to realize Dusty and Triple H were close. And this could have all been approved when he went over. Hey, listen,
maybe.
I think that us as fans and with the media and everything, I think there's a lot of fantasy heat. And by that, I mean that I think we think there's heat between companies and wrestlers and everything. And it's really not just, that's what makes a better story. Because, this is a perfect example. When Ruby Soho got over, boy, Twitter went crazy from WWE, how happy they were for her, as well as for Claudio. You can see all the WWE guys saying, oh, man.
Ruby got over when she arrived.
Yeah, when she arrived.
Yeah, ever since she arrived, she hasn't gotten anything over.
I agree with that. But I mean, when she got to AEW, the response from all the WWE workers were all positive and oh my god,
because they've all have nothing but respect for her. But
right, that's my point.
I don't know. I think if me and you work tight and close together for so long, and then you go on a different platform and take shots at me and pop shots, like, sure, anything is possible in wrestling where people can rekindle and be friends, and like Brett came back to WWE at one point. You know what I mean? Anything's possible.
Right.
But I wouldn't forget it. You know what I mean? Like if I was Tripp, I'd be like, if it's not real heat or not real jabs or pop shots, like
I mean,
if I'm in charge of creative, I'm like, all right, remember when you smashed that throne and had your golden sledgehammer and
like, yeah,
like, all right.
but that's more of a nod at Triple H saying, "Yo, you're the king. You guys are the top dog. We got to take you down." That's
He said, "I'm going
to.
to dethrone you, and I'm going to make this company bigger than yours."
But
you didn't see value in me, and now I'm the king of the industry.
But Vince loves that. He loves controversy. He loves. Remember that he said it on Pat McAfee's show. He loves competition. I mean, I don't think he.
I don't buy a word that Vince says publicly at all.
Well, you don't think he likes competition?
I don't think he even watches the competition.
I don't think he does either. But I think he loved crushing WCW. And I think
he loved competition so much he bought it, so he didn't have it.
But that's my point. He likes to beat people.
He loved competition so much in the territories that he bought them, so he didn't have it.
But that's my point. He likes to crush people, and that was such a big thing for him when AEW beat NXT in the ratings. You know, so I mean, like I said, I don't think that Cody.
Yeah, but NXT, I mean, yes, AEW beat NXT in the ratings. But if you go back and watch week for week at that point in time in both companies, NXT was still putting on a better wrestling show,
of course.
And AEW was putting on very good storylines. But the problem is NXT was fighting with its hands behind its back because they were getting zero push from their main roster comp. Like if NXT was treated like Monday Night Raw, it wouldn't have been a competition. When it comes to demographic and what people are actually watching. 100%. NXT was literally fighting and putting on a great show with their hands tied behind their back with the new hot company that everybody wanted to watch. Right. It was almost unfair for NXT to even compared that they lost that war. You know what I mean?
No, I agree. And people thinking it was such a slam dunk that they were getting killed, and they really weren't getting killed. It was pretty close. And like you said, you got the new kids on the block, and of course you're gonna. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't check out AEW for a full year. I would not.
No, I watched it. I watched it at the start.
Not me. Paul Laurier, my good friend Paul Laurier, from HWA and NYWC. He had to twist my arm. But I'm glad I did.
Yeah.
Because I hated WCW. I hated WCW.
Yeah, so did I. I didn't watch it.
So I just didn't like any other thing other than WWE. It's just I was so biased against it, but that's neither here nor there. So like I said, I think Edge is a long shot, but you think he's the odds-on favorite.
I think if it's going to be any surprise person, I think he's the most likely.
Wow. I totally disagree, but so we might see this again, and we might see this match again. Okay. We might see it again. These two. Okay.
I just fucking want Seth to break away and wrestle different people and have something different for him. Like maybe give Seth an Intercontinental Championship run or a United States Championship run or something. Just give him something new to do.
Right. The beef isn't serious, WCW. Yeah, it's definitely not serious.
It's not serious because AEW hasn't beaten them in the marquees yet. If AEW starts, if Vince were still in charge and AEW was a serious competition when it comes to anything on a WCW level where they're beating them in ratings head to head, then it would have been a little different. But they were on two different time zones. They were on two different channels. They were on two different days of the week. He didn't give a shit if it beat NXT.
He was
Vince probably says, Tripp, your show that everyone seems to love can't even beat AEW. Like, but I think at the end of the day, I don't think Vince cared because it wasn't on the same thing.
I agree. So,
I get told I look like Kevin Owens a lot, Frank. Thank you.
Here's my 50-50, and Richie's going to love this. Because
my God, here we go.
I know, but I just think that maybe they might do something crazy. I'm just thinking just to get that big pop to get a shot.
Here, can I put something out there for all of and I hope Richie watches this back.
Good.
Let's recap some Fiend moments.
Oh, they weren't great. They weren't great.
There's more bad Fiend moments than there are good.
Agreed.
Last time we had Fiend and Seth Rollins, he got hit with a giant cartoon hammer, and there was a DQ inside of a Hell in a Cell. So then he wrestles Randy a few times, and one time they CGI'd or put a projector screen of maggots in the middle of the ring. And then the second time, Randy lights him on fire for him to then return as this burnt corpse who is walking towards the camera and magically transforms back into the Fiend for whatever reason. And then the last time we see the Fiend, Alexa Bliss pops out of a Jack-in-the-Box, pukes black blood, and he gets schoolboyed rolled up, and we never see him again. And we want him back that bad? Was the Firefly Funhouse that much fun for everybody, but that they forget his in-ring garbage?
People love it. Now, the reason why 50-50 booked this is because of all the buzz that is getting on the internet and the people. I don't want to see this. This is me giving the fans, giving the nation their just due, giving Richie. Because you got to realize something. It is a possibility that this guy could come back.
Sure, absolutely.
Listen, he was the #1 merchandise seller, and merch is where it goes right now. Not to mention
mask and face paint always get over with fans.
Right, and Lily's the #1 selling item right now on WWE Shop. Lily.
Yeah, there is no dark spooky presence, and that is something that WWE has hung their hat on for a long time, is having the dark spooky person.
The Undertaker's not
Judgment
there, right?
Day's not your spooky team anymore. You know what I mean? They're more just bad guys, which I'm cool with. I don't need them having superpowers. I don't know, man. Like, if the Fiend comes back, cool, but it's not something I'm gonna like. Oh my God, Bray Wyatt's back! Because I see Bray Wyatt, I go, oh, cool. He's gonna do all these vignettes and promos that are gonna be really, really subtle, and everyone's gonna fantasy book what they mean, and then we're gonna say, oh well, this means this, and he put a little Easter egg in here that means he's gonna do this, and then there's another little Easter egg, and then we get to the match, and he gets schoolboy pinned.
Listen. I was at WrestleMania when that happened, and I was really looking forward to that match. And when I saw the schoolboy roll up, I looked to my left and I said, are you effing kidding me? This is a guy that got curb stomped 6, 7, 8, 9 times and kicked out. Yeah.
I don't know, man. I can't wrap my head around a moment that was so good for Bray Wyatt in ring that I'm like, boy, I want to see more of that again.
Hold on, we gotta address this because I know you're gonna go batshit crazy. Trevor, I love you, but I'm about to roast you, bro.
Wow. Listen, I will say this. If you go back and watch a lot of Undertaker debut, cool. Then there's a giant gap where Undertaker was in dog shit for a very, very long time. Most of Undertaker's other stuff was dog shit. And then it got cool with Yokozuna, and then it got cool with Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart, and then he turned into a biker, and then it turned to dog shit again. And then he kind of got cool when the streak became a thing, because they're like, oh shit, we actually have a streak here that we can work with. But there is a lot of hit and miss with the Undertaker as well. But Undertaker backstage and Undertaker as a person, he like, I don't know. I think they're apples and oranges.
But I want to talk about Trevor's actual comment that he feels that he's the Undertaker of this generation.
He, in a regard, sure he is, because there's no other supernatural character that has stuck out like the Undertaker.
I can't even give him that, bro. I think that.
Would you go? So Trevor, sorry to cut you off. Would you go Undertaker 1, Fiend 2 as paranormal characters? Because I wouldn't.
I can't.
I still think there's someone ahead of Bray.
I can't go anywhere. The Undertaker's on a different level. It's on a pedestal, just for longevity alone. And yes, he had some gaps in his career.
Who's your top 3 spooky character guys?
Me?
WWE, yeah. There's not many to choose from, but who's your?
There's not a lot to choose from. You're right. I mean, I think the Boogeyman's spookier than Bray Wyatt.
Okay. I don't hate it.
and Papa Shango.
Okay. Short run, but I don't hate it either. But number 1 and number 2, there's no debate on who's number 1 and number 2. And that's Undertaker and Kane.
Of course.
It's Undertaker, Kane, and then
Whoever.
maybe throw somebody in there at 3 or 4.
Listen. If Papa Shango had a longer run, there was some spook. There was some.
You know what the problem with Papa Shango's run was? He ran into the Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah.
And that guy has killed more pushes and careers and characters than anybody.
And John Cena.
Because he's a fucking egomaniac who can't lose.
Right. Yeah. I didn't. Speaking of Ultimate Warrior, and people, Ultimate
I
Warrior.
never liked the Warrior, and then I hate him even more as a person when I learned about him as I get older.
Yeah, Ultimate Warrior was regarded as such a great. Oh my God, such a. Listen, I liked when he beat Hulk Hogan. I thought the Ultimate Challenge was for two big guys that couldn't really wrestle. It was actually a entertaining match. And other than the squash match and the Honky Tonk Man at the first SummerSlam, other than that, the Ultimate Warrior,
Thank you, Martin. Appreciate it, brother. He said he has to go, but love and respect. Thank you, brother.
Thank you, Martin. Good morning. Good morning. What's up, Elias? And hello, Mary. Ultimate Warrior, not one of my favorites, but I gotta fly now. Flies are my pet peeve in life. Like I can't.
Oh, yeah?
I love my God. Trevor said he had the same draw that the Undertaker had. No way. You're telling me, Trevor, that the Fiend had the same type of draw that Undertaker had? No way. Anthony, what do you think about that as you fall asleep on your microphone? I'm joking.
Merch sales, he's up there. He did very, very well in merch sales. His look is appealing. Everything about it was cool. His vignettes and promos are very highly regarded, and people like to dissect them and try to think what he was trying to do. And his mysteriousness in that is all great, and all of that's really, really fun. But eventually, he has to get in the ring and work, and that's where he's light years behind the Undertaker.
Way behind, and that's the other thing. Like you said, Anthony, you made a great point. What kind of matches is this guy having? Not very entertaining. But anyway, so that was my 50-50. That was just half. It was Richie was involved in that a little bit. And I just think the fans, he does have a following. I give Trevor that much. He does have a following. People want to see it. But here's my number 1. And before I go, my bad. I hate doing that graphic. This guy right here. No, he's not wrestling. But I think SummerSlam is going to showcase a little bit of what his creative vision has. I think that everything's basically, this will be the end of the storylines because they can start over from this point. I think whatever they had written, they might tweak it a little bit. We might see a little more wrestling. But I think that after SummerSlam, that Triple H is going to be all full steam ahead. What do you think, Ant?
I think every single person who walks into the door at SummerSlam, regardless of what your job is, what your title is, what your role is in the company, you better hit a home run because everybody's under a microscope at SummerSlam.
Yeah. This is
and kind of how I just said before, and Brian brought up a great point on the podcast, where Triple H is the type of guy where if you're not good in the ring, or you're struggling in the ring, or you can't get over on the mic, or you can't get over as a character, and Tripp doesn't see value in you, you're not sticking around. And I think there's a lot of guys on the roster who may be in trouble.
Name a few.
Omos.
Oh, I agree. I think Omos is number 1 on the list. I think he's in major trouble.
Bray can bring in all the merchandising you want, but Triple H wants you to go in the ring and put on a match. And I don't think he sees that in Bray.
Okay.
Anything. I think cameramen. I think commentary. I think there's a lot of people that are they have to bring their A game.
I think Jimmy Smith's in trouble in commentary.
Who?
Jimmy Smith.
Oh, absolutely.
I think he's in trouble. I know it's going to sound crazy, but I think Michael Cole.
He's going to flourish.
Huh?
Michael Cole's going to flourish.
Yeah,
he's going to be fantastic.
I think Michael Cole is going to step his game up. I think now, because he's not going to be handcuffed
He's not gonna have Vince in his ear telling him to say stupid shit over and over and over again.
Exactly. McAfee and Cole are gonna go batshit crazy together, which I love. Who else do you think's on the chopping block? Could be potentially on the chopping block.
I think there's guys backstage that we don't even know their names could be in trouble. I think guys who are part of the writing staff. I think people who are part of. I think some people are going to be accentuated that are going to be good, but I think some guys who are going to be the ones who were just Vince's yes men's are going to be taking hikes.
What about talent? Like what about Veer?
Who knows? Who knows? I think there's going to be a lot of talent that may get some stints back in NXT. Shanky's that's a Vince product. Let's have him go out there and dance. Like I don't know. Maybe he gives people opportunities to try to do things. Do I think everyone's going to get main title pushes? No, but I think they're going to be putting programs where they're going to be like, hey, now's your chance. Let's do something with it. And if they can't, then maybe it's time for you to either go back to NXT or go make your worth on the indies, and we'll see you in a couple months.
Now, who do you think is going to flourish? But who do you think is going to step up and that they're going to maybe get a push they deserve? Because my guy's Ricochet.
Ricochet can be one. Tomasa can be one. AJ can get a revamp in his career. Hopefully Ziggler wakes up and realizes that he's super talented and one of the best in the roster and takes it a little more serious. Bailey returning. I think Bailey's going to flourish under Triple H.
I agree.
I'm trying to think. Asuka. I think Austin is maybe not so much a jokey character. Maybe goes back to being a killer. Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler is, I think, someone under Triple H is going to do very well.
She's the one that they could put the rocket on her back and make her that badass bitch that she was in NXT. And she can come. She can say, I would just come on. If I was them, I would be like, listen, I would have Shayna come on. She can't talk a lot, but I would be herself say, look, I'm tired. Her
promos aren't terrible though. Do you ever see when she cut the promo on Becky when Becky left to be pregnant? And she's like, Becky's pregnant. Oh, cool. She's gonna be a fat cow on her couch eating bonbons. And you see her who the dad is gonna be. Yeah, that kid's gonna suck. I was like, this is great. Give me more Shayna Baszler.
She's not bad, but I think they should like pull the curtain back a little bit. Okay, look, now that we're under new management, I'm changing my approach. You know, I'm coming to crack skulls. All you bitches be ready. You know, I think they should just peel the onion back a little bit.
It's crazy because everyone's like, maybe Sasha comes back, maybe this person comes back, and we have Bailey returning, and the 4 horsewomen are all going to be there. But like, sure, the 4 horsemen are fun, but you're sitting on Asuka, you're sitting on Shayna Baszler, you're sitting on like a few names in the roster who are legitimate killers and can be treated as such. But we're stuck behind 4 women all the time who are the only ones who kind of get pushes. And I'm kind of hypocritical because Bailey's one of them. But, dude, I'll fucking watch Bailey all day long.
How about Raquel?
Possibly. The only problem with Raquel is, do you think she has a lot of charisma?
I do, if in the right circumstance, because her feud with Dakota Kai, she was good on the mic. She did a good job. You know, this smiling little thing, and then you know it ain't working.
Chris says maybe she'll find something for Asuka because she botched Money in the Bank. Here's the thing with the botches at Money in the Bank with Shotzi. Go YouTube some Shotzi Blackheart stuff on the Independence where she's working with chairs, ladders, and tables, and some like almost pushing the boundary of deathmatch wrestling. Shotzi's not afraid to do crazy shit. The problem is Shotzi allowed to do that shit in WWE?
Shotzi's great, by the way.
Yeah.
So she says Raquel needs that. She's not built for this. You don't think so?
I think she's very built for it.
She is, but not literally. I know what she meant.
Yeah.
I think that maybe she means that she doesn't have a natural charisma about her.
She was fine as a heel working with Dakota Kai. That was fun.
I thought that was great. I thought they were great together.
But like her coming out smiling and being a babyface just does nothing for me.
I don't like it at all. Well, we'll see what happens, but let's get to my number one surprise on who I think Yes, dear, I do. Who I think, me personally, it's just me. This is me for number one fantasy booking. This is me thinking, okay, maybe we get a big surprise, and this is me hoping this happens. And this is my pick to replace Riddle. This is my odds-on favorite, Gargano, because Gargano's a great guy.
They actually pitched on the podcast, which is not crazy to think about. Is let me double check my facts here before I say this.
Good. Yeah, check your facts, bro. Check your facts while I text Chrissy real quick.
All right, so it is true. So Logan Paul is going into the Miz thing, maybe a little short-staffed. Maybe he's missing somebody. He's got Tommaso Ciampa and Miz kind of both there, and it's always like this 2-on-1 situation. And Logan has no backup. Where's Logan from?
I don't know where Logan's from, to tell you the truth.
Logan is from Ohio.
Is Gargano from Ohio as well?
Oh, Gargano is about as blood. His blood runs about as hard as you can for Ohio than anybody in the world. He turns around and says, "You know what? I brought somebody from my hometown to even up the odds here." It's one of the fantasy bookings is maybe Tommaso Ciampa shows up and helps Logan Paul with the Miz and Tommaso Ciampa. I don't hate it, but I think it's a little bit of a long shot. But the only problem with Tommaso Ciampa coming and wrestling Seth Rollins for me is the same thing as I said before. If it's Edge has been there, fine. If it's AJ, it can go either way with a win or a loss for either one of them. If it's The Fiend or if it's Johnny Gargano, you are literally booking Seth Rollins to have another guy come back and lose, and now he's your fantasy. Who's your next return? Lose to this guy talent, and I think Seth is too good for that.
No, I agree, but first of all, Seth might be the best guy on the roster athletically. He has the whole package. I don't think he has a problem with it. It doesn't hurt him, and down the road it's gonna
Who is the Seth Rollins equivalent of AEW?
Who?
Who's like the equivalent of Seth Rollins in AEW? Total package.
To me personally, I would say Kenny Omega.
That's a great pick. Would you make Kenny Omega your stepping stone for every single person who enters your company?
Of course not, but this is the WWE. It's a little different. You know that.
But we're trying to say we're changing everything. We're going to make people more valued because Triple H is there now. So would you make Kenny Omega your stepping stone for every single person who enters the company?
No, of course not.
No, I think Seth should be treated the same way. We're talking about who some of the best wrestlers in the world are, and every single time we say, who's on Kenny's level, who's on Moxley's level, and then we say, well, Roman, sure, but there's a lot of guys on that roster who could be in that talk as well, and you're just diminishing Seth's stock as a talent. I know wins and losses don't matter in predetermined matches, but at the end of the day, that's people still look at wins and losses. And if your loss column is always, hey, someone just came in as an outsider and they're beat. Seth Rollins lost to a guy with one arm inside of a Hell in a Cell. Seth Rollins lost to a guy with one arm visually. What better way to be like, Cody tried. He fought valiantly. He had the bum shoulder. He took the loss, but I mean, against all odds, it was predetermined that he was going to take that loss. And then we build to Seth versus Cody. They're 1-1. You know what I mean? He took a loss to a guy with one arm. And now he's going to come into another big SummerSlam, which is one of their big four, and he's going to lose to a brand new guy coming into the company again. I don't like that for Seth, and I hate Seth's character right now, but I think it's an awful look. I think it sets an awful precedent for Seth Rollins.
Yeah, well, we'll see. So,
and I want Gargano back. So Gargano can come in and beat up a Miz or beat up a Ciampa, or turn around and look at Ciampa and be like, "Hey, what are we doing here? Are you a Miz guy? Or I'm here now. Let's figure this out."
DIY, huh?
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's more appealing to me than him coming in and squashing Seth. I mean, him and Seth will have a banger of a match, but I don't want to see Seth take that loss.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I don't want to see him take the loss either, but at the same time,
he's still on top. But like, is Seth the title picture guy right now? Would you believe it? You're like, this guy has been losing for 6 months. You build Seth. Now let's say, hey, all right, Seth all of a sudden is just in a month span because he's so good, he's getting a title run. But at the end of the day, we know Cody's coming again. You think he's going to lose you think he's going to beat Cody? I think he should. There's one thing that everyone hates with WWE is, WWE, if you're the WCW guy, you're losing the WWE all the time. Yeah, that's I'm sorry, that's how it's. Dude, Cody comes in and they should see Cody as the competition. Cody, no matter how you slice the pie, Cody is AEW. He left and started a company, and now he comes in and beats the guy you've been building up for 7 years. I think that's a crazy look for the company.
Yeah, but see, I think what their mindset is that, Cody was here first, and, he's,
Was he, though? The guy who was Stardust in your company?
Now, listen, he wasn't bad as Cody Rhodes. He wasn't bad as Dash and Cody Rhodes. Stardust thing, of course, but that's a Vince thing. Vince made him do that.
Okay, another example. And maybe you're gonna be kind of in my boat because you like this character. Who was an absolute joke. Nobody gave a shit who he was. He was part of stables that were somewhat entertaining, left for a while, came back, but he didn't leave and start a company and rival you and go on TV and talk shit. But when he came back and retransformed his body and put a character together and did some stuff, everyone shit all over it because they didn't believe him as a champion because they remember who he was before. Jinder Mahal.
Oh, yeah.
Jinder did everything you should do as a person by getting a character over, by changing his body, by becoming a megastar heel, using the international thing to his advantage, coming in at a time where they were breaking into an India deal. Everything about Jinder Mahal. Of course, the ending was stupid because they put him in a match with the Punjabi prison and have a guy come out that's regarded as bigger and better than him, which I thought was a terrible idea. But Cody was Stardust, and everyone thought it was a giant joke. So he leaves and says, I'm done being a joke, makes a company, shits on your company, and then comes back to your company and beats the guy you've been building up for 7 years.
Jinder Mahal is the GOAT.
I love Jinder.
I love Jinder modern day Maharaja.
I will take that heat all day long and about people saying that Jinder was not fun and Jinder was not good. I will say I'm a Mahal guy.
Bro, I was at Wells Fargo during the Punjabi.
I hated the Punjabi prison match, though. I will say that. I fucking hated it.
I was there when Randy was climbing. Me and Kira were like third row. Let me tell you, man, I was the only person in the people are calling me a terrorist. And I was like, why? Because I like Jinder. What's wrong with you? I'm like, what are you talking about?
If Jinder was there for the Hogan era, he'd be he would be at Legends of Hamburg.
Yep. He would be bigger than the Iron Sheik because he could talk,
Yeah. He would be another Iron Sheik. Jinder, to me, that's exactly how I see Jinder. Jinder's like another Iron Sheik.
Chris says, R-Truth will replace Riddle and be taken seriously. It was still funny.
Listen, I'm all about R-Truth becoming something more than R-Truth, but I think, sadly, it's never going to happen in WWE.
Listen, you still got a little time?
Dude, I'm here for hours if you need me. I have nothing to do right now.
So, yeah, I don't have to leave for a little while. I got to go to the gym because I'm clanging and banging. And like I said, everybody, don't forget to join us tonight at 7:30 for the for the Dynamite / for the SmackDown / Rampage watch along. And, we lost Ant. He'll be back. But I may be going to SummerSlam. Looks like a possibility. And listen, if you want to help me get there, I'm taking donations. I usually do super chats. My super chats, I found out what happened with my super chat. See, bro, that's Bray Wyatt telling you stop talking about
I hit the wrong button.
My super chats are not working due to some issues with my new bank account, but they will be up and running Monday. So if you want to support the channel, if you want to support my trip to SummerSlam, because Anthony,
realistically, I think it is visually fun to see your name pop on the screen, right? Like, oh, cool, my name popped up. I'm showing that I'm supporting. But realistically, supporting wise, YouTube takes a pretty nice little chunk of all your super chats. Just being completely honest, I was looking into it. So if you give like a $5 donation, maybe Tony sees what, like $3 of it.
I see $3.14.
$3.14. How much do you see of it if they send it to your Cash App or your Venmo?
Every penny.
$5. Just so I know the visualization of having it pop up on the screen is fun. But when it comes to actual support, if probably the better way to support the channel is using the Cash App or Venmo, because your content creator is getting every cent of it, and it's not going to YouTube.
Eventually, when I have a better streaming program, I'm gonna have it where if you send a Cash App, the graphic will still come up. I'm gonna be doing this. Is a good.
You're gonna go OBS?
Yes.
No boy.
It's
good
hard.
Luck.
Yeah, I know. Actually, as I know a guy that does.
Remember
OBS.
how hard it was to bring guests in on OBS?
Bro, that's easy now. That's easy.
How?
The guy I'm talking to says he can do it easily. So.
Yeah, you have to go through Zoom or another program, then take the window and put the window in StreamYard, and then do this. And if something loses connection because your computer's trying to do 15 things at once, OBS runs your computer and bogs it down and makes it run like garbage. On top of if your internet connection is not good.
Well, mine's good, thank God. That's one thing I have.
It's good, but then is your processor good for your computer to run OBS with everything you want?
Yeah, I got my computer state of the art. It's a $3,000 computer.
Yeah,
so.
I mean my laptop's a beast, but I'll take the use of ease of StreamYard all day long.
I got you. So listen, yeah, and trust me, but I need something a little more interactive where we get some better graphics, some cool. I got to make it pop a little bit, just because visually for people that look, the nation of Tailorization is they're loyal, but now what my thing is, I got to start visually. People are scrolling and they say, "Oh, look at this graphic, look at this thumbnail." You know what I mean? So,
yeah, no, I feel all that. Yeah,
it's tough. Yeah,
it's a tough thing.
All right, so since we're talking about SummerSlam, might as well go through the matches. Anthony, I didn't even get to ask you what are your plans for Saturday?
Saturday, I will be at the Schuylkill County Brew Fest. It is a giant beer festival that they're having in downtown Pottsville, which is the home of Yingling beer, if you ever drink that. It's like 3 or 4 city blocks long. There's going to be over 40 to 50 beer vendors from all over the country. There's food trucks. There's going to be live music. And then from 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock, there's going to be pro wrestling in the middle of downtown Pottsville. Because the brewery who's running the Brew Fest and the guys who are running it, one of them happens to be a professional wrestler, and his name is Tony Deppen. If you're a fan of GCW, you know Tony Deppen very well. Or if you're a fan of the independent scene, he's one of the big top guys on the indie scene right now. He just wrestled in a 6-way at Ring of Honor pay-per-view. He was actually the guy who took the fall. Yeah, but he's very big in the wrestling scene, and he's going to be his Brew Fest. He's going to incorporate professional wrestling to it. So most of my day will be going around trying not to get blackout drunk, and then hopefully staying conscious and alive and not sick enough to watch SummerSlam later on that night somewhere else.
Got you. So yeah, I actually know what that is. I used to work for a limo company. I drove a bus up that narrow hill that goes all around to get to Yingling and everything. It's very dangerous. But yeah, that's another story for another time.
Yeah, and then Sunday is another beer podcast, and then the Sanctuary Rumble.
Okay.
So that's my weekend.
You got stuff going on. Busy weekend. SummerSlam Saturday, tomorrow. We will have a watch along. Will I be in this seat? Tune in and see. Went the wrong way. All right, Anthony, Bianca Belair,
and still Bianca Belair, and still.
Any surprises?
This is where your fantasy booking always comes in, where everyone fantasy books, someone runs in and sets up the next challenge. I don't think you see a lot of that here. I think that's what your Monday Night Raw is for the next day, to get people excited and have that post Raw pay-per-view But I think Bianca retains, and then maybe Bianca's next challenger for the title is Rhea Ripley, the returning Rhea Ripley.
No Alexa Bliss after what she said on Monday Night Raw.
Maybe, but I think Rhea's your. I think maybe post SummerSlam, Rhea seals up some loose ends at SummerSlam and starts focusing on the title picture. Who knows? Maybe it's not Rhea right away. Maybe Rhea's maybe after Extreme Rules or something else crazy. But I think Bianca puts Becky Lynch in a rearview mirror.
Extreme Rules would be a great place to do it because guess where it is? Philadelphia. Speaking of Philly,
but I think going into Mania, I think the era of Bianca Belair's title run will be starting to either fizzle out or will be done by Mania. I think we get a new champion. I think we roll with somebody else for a year. Bianca was a great champion. She's a great talent. She still has a bright future. I think she'll be a multi-time champion. She's already a 2-time champion. Love her to death, but I think before she gets super stale, I think she puts Becky in the rear view, and then we maybe start fading out the Bianca era.
Yeah, she can chase, the titles, and not to mention maybe the tag team titles will be back in effect by then. So maybe
once again, Triple H, you're in charge now. Let's put some good stories together. You don't need to be a champion to have a good story. Start putting some stories together for everybody else.
So we talked about this. No need to cover this. Okay, this right here. What do you think?
I don't care. It's going to be fun. It's going to be entertaining. This has no impact on future for anybody. This has no impact on anything other than this is a SummerSlam celebrity match. Love Pat McAfee. I think he's super entertaining. I think Baron Corbin's good in the ring, but this has no implications for anything. Too early. We've seen Bianca either chase or be in the title picture for almost since last Mania, or before last Mania, since last SummerSlam. She was champ actually even before last SummerSlam, because she lost it at she was a dominating champion and then lost it at SummerSlam, then won it back at Mania, and now it's coming. Yeah, she's been in the title hunt in the top of the food chain for a little over 2 years now. I think it's time for her to let somebody else run with a title for a little bit. I'm
going McAfee on this. I think we get
McAfee wins.
I think we get the Lone Wolf back
with no hair though. He's not growing that back. I don't think he can. I don't think it's capable.
You don't need to. He can be the badass with the bald head. He's got a good look.
Grow a beard out or something.
Exactly.
Now, sticking to it. I say and new.
I don't understand. Angelo Dawkins was on Busted Open on it was yesterday, and he made a comment about singles wrestling, how he never wanted to be in a tag team, how when he was in NXT in 2017, they just threw him and Montez together, and he wasn't happy with it. He says his eventual, he loves the team, he loves Montez, they're brothers now. He says, but his ultimate goal is to be WWE champion. And,
I think that's coming.
And he's going to be he wants to be taken seriously. So I'm thinking that the Usos retain. I don't know if Jeff Jarrett even has.
You think Jeff Jarrett's a complete non-factor in this match?
Maybe. Listen, he may be an on-air talent, like you were saying the other day, and maybe the split comes and he's Angelo Dawkins' manager. That right there, I love.
I don't want Jeff Jarrett near Angelo Dawkins.
Why not?
Because you think Angelo Dawkins needs a mouthpiece?
No. Yes. I'll tell you why. Because without Montez, you lose that dynamic of having somebody to bounce off of, and he can wear the suit. He can wear a nice Armani suit and just have his sunglasses on and let Jeff do the talking and just come on and say, yeah, Montez, I'm gonna bust your ass. Like you can say, keep it straight to the point.
Yeah, I think the breakup happens, but I think the breakup comes when they are on top and then lose the titles again. Where I think maybe that happens, and this is my fantasy booking, Street Profits win with the help of Jeff Jarrett, but not like a long-term thing where he's with them. But I think Jeff Jarrett's just like, oh, the Usos are the top dog. They think they run shit here. I'm Jeff Jarrett. No one's bigger than me. He somehow helps the Usos win this, or helps the Street Profits win this. And then maybe the build up to Rhea Ripley eventually going after Bianca Belair. We have a little trios action where you see Bianca and the Street Profits, and then Rhea with Judgment Day. And I think we have fun vignettes and we have fun things that go post SummerSlam with the champion Street Profits being challenged by Judgment Day, because then you put Judgment Day in some type of role where they actually feel like they're relevant. And you have the women going for the main title and the guys going for tag teams.
I could see that.
And maybe one of them gets in their head and makes them rethink their thing, because that's the whole Judgment. They're not paranormal, but they make you rethink your situation on, we want people to join. We want people to think things differently. And then that's maybe when they finally beat. Yeah, that's one, well, either one of them, Dawkins or Angelo, where they're like, yeah, I don't need you, my guy. And then you break it up. But I don't think it happens here at SummerSlam. I think they get one last title push as tag team champions.
Okay. I don't hate it.
I'm still thinking, I think this is the SummerSlam where we start to see the fall apart or the demise of the bloodline. And I think what better way for Triple H to get a clean slate is he can sit there and say, Roman's money with or without a title. And now you can start maybe working with some new talent and making WWE relevant again by saying, hey, we're taking this seriously and we're going to give you something new to look at instead of the same 6 people you've been watching for the past 10 years.
Very interesting. I like it.
Everything in my heart says Liv wins, but doesn't win clean. I think someone comes out and interferes, whether it be Charlotte or Bayley. If Liv beats Ronda clean, I will be fucking shocked.
Is there a possibility that could happen?
Sure. Yeah. But it's not believable. I don't know. I would I also wouldn't be shocked if Ronda beats Liv. I wouldn't. This one here, the only way you walk out of this with Liv still looking like a champion, but you're building up to her the next because Liv is not, sorry if you feel this way in the chat, I feel for you, but Liv is not your Bianca Belair where she's a 2.5 year on top champion. You're just not going to see it. Liv is not a long-term champion in this scenario. Sorry, I don't see it. She's a fan favorite, but I think if you keep her as your main champion for a very long time, I think you burn her out. I think you expose her, especially in that WWE roster where you have a lot of talent. You bring Bayley back, you bring Sasha Banks back, Charlotte Flair is back, and you're still telling me that Liv is your believable on top champion? Triple H is now rebooking, so anyone in the women's division has a chance to be. Alexa Bliss is now making a run for the top. Raquel Gonzalez is there. Shayna Baszler might be taken more seriously. And you're telling me Liv is your top merchandise promo. I don't see it. I love Liv. I think her story is really, really fun, and everything about her is amazing. She's your blonde-haired bombshell who is your prototype WWE person. I just don't see her as a long-term champion. I think she comes out of here with a title, but I think we start putting the seeds in place that she loses it either at or by Rumble.
I think she loses it before that. I think that Liv retains because Ronda snaps, and I think Ronda goes full heel. I think Ronda's a heel will be way better.
I just don't think she can mentally handle the fans booing her.
No,
she's having a hard time with the fans making fun of her trying to be a babyface.
But that's why I think they'll turn.
I think Ronda maybe steps away for a little bit after this match.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
Again?
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't you like to see her and Shayna together?
Sure, but do I think Shayna needs it at this point? No. Dude, Ronda, I love Ronda. She's a super talented athlete. She has changed the game for women in every aspect you can think of. But Ronda is her own worst enemy sometimes when it comes to her own mental psyche.
But that's my problem with Ronda Rousey, is that she's a crybaby. She's a take my ball and go home kind of person. You know, everything's like, oh, it's not going away. Like, just because you're a face, they're gonna boo you. You know, some people are not gonna like you.
And no matter how you look at it, you're still the outsider that has not earned the respect of the WWE universe, and you're always going to be considered that attraction who doesn't feel like they belong on the roster.
Not to mention, she came in, she took, you know, when she first came in at that first Rumble and pointed to the sign, you know, you stole some thunder there. You main evented the women's pay-per-view, which I get it. You need a name to book to sell that.
I don't mind Ronda's first year in the company.
No, I don't either. But my problem with Ronda is once she left, how she badmouthed, oh, it's not even real, and
yes.
you know,
that's where she fucked up.
Yeah.
When she left as a heel and tried to return as a babyface, and people were like, "Nope, don't like that," because she didn't like the legit boos when she felt she shouldn't have been getting booed.
I'm shocked she didn't get booed more.
You know who she could have easily paralleled in this business and could have been something if she just kind of humbled herself and realized that it's a professional wrestling business and she has to do certain things sometimes to maybe earn the respect of the fans. She should have sat down with Kurt Angle and been like, what do I do here? Because Kurt Angle was in the same boat where he's like, sure, I'll sign a contract, but I can never lose because it's not believable that anyone on that roster can beat me. Right. I'm going to go out in Pittsburgh and I'm the hometown guy. They're going to love me. And Vince goes, no, they're going to boo you. And he hit the curtain. He's like, why the fuck are they booing me? He's like, welcome to wrestling, kid. And Kurt had to be like, all right, okay, I need to reassess what I'm doing here. And Kurt, even though he's a killer and he should kill every single person on that roster, Kurt put cowboy hats on. Kurt went out there and played comedy roles. Kurt played the killer. Kurt played every single role you could imagine in WWE. And the fans now think of Kurt Angle as one of the greatest of all time.
One of the greatest of all time, which he is. Listen, the guy comes in 96 and
has one of the most remarkable rookie years in wrestling history. And Ronda could have easily been the female of that.
When's the IC? When's the European? When's the heavyweight title? 5 months, I think it was, right? Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It was fast. And he always embraced the fans on how they treat him. When they treat him as a face, he embraced it. When they booed him, listen, the great thing now is the "You Suck" chant was not a term of endearment.
Mm-hmm.
He was one of the most hated wrestlers in the history of pro wrestling.
And everybody knew in the back of their mind, realistically, Kurt Angle would kill every single person on that roster.
Who tried to take him down? Eddie Guerrero tried to double leg him in a match, and he embarrassed Eddie Guerrero. And then they in the back they say to him, well, "Eddie, what the fuck were you thinking?" He goes, "He pissed me off. I want to see if I can do it." He goes, "Yo, the only person I think it would have I think that Kurt Angle could beat in a wrestling match. I think he would have taken Shelton and Brock as well. You know,
Brock's legit wrestling career always has a little bit of an asterisk on it. How much are you into collegiate wrestling?
I mean, I watched it when Brock was wrestling.
Okay, so when you watch Brock wrestle, what stood out visually when you watch Brock wrestle in a collegiate level?
Just that he's the biggest guy in the match.
He was 40 to 60 pounds bigger than every heavyweight he wrestled.
Yep.
And he dominated everybody because he was 40 to 60 pounds bigger than every single person he wrestled. Wrestling is not like jiu-jitsu. Size and mass does help you out in professional and mat wrestling. But also, if you go back and look at when Brock was going to go for national championships and stuff, he went there's people who took him the distance who were better wrestlers than him, but at the end of the day, his size and strength got him by.
Yeah, I saw on YouTube. I saw Kurt Angle beat some guys with some great moves. Shelton Benjamin does not get the due he deserves.
Oh, Dolph Ziggler was a good mat wrestler too.
Yeah, I know. Shelton Benjamin is not a guy you would ever want to mess with. He would stretch you.
Size can make you slow if you don't train properly, but Brock always was very, very quick and athletic.
So we're going. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but we're going with Liv to hold the title.
Yeah, I think Liv retains.
Kind of
yeah, I mean it doesn't have to be a smudge, but I think Liv retains. Logan Paul wins. Whatever thing they put together for this match, Logan Paul beats The Miz.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, don't you? Let me ask you a question. You have this thing about Seth, that Seth gets stepped on. Well, what about the Miz? Why does he have to pull these people over all the time? Seth's, listen, we know he's always in the title picture, but Miz is a 2-time Grand Slam champion, the only man to ever.
Is he treated that way though?
Is he treated? Shouldn't he be?
He should, but is he? He's always a chicken shit heel who finds a way to win. Where Seth can either do either or, where he can go out there as your giant baby face. Like they tried to make a baby face push for the Miz, and I had a good time with it, but it just didn't seem like it was natural. Here's your difference. I was processing it. Seth Rollins is putting over talent who is legit going to go for world championships and makes them look silly. He makes himself look silly for the sake of somebody else to take a spot that he probably deserves. Miz is taking losses to internet celebrities, and his entire character is he's the celebrity of WWE. So it makes sense for Miz to lose because he treats himself as he's an A-lister, but realistically he's a C-lister. And then when real A-listers come, they beat the guy who thinks he's the A-lister. So it always makes sense for Miz to lose to the celebrity guy. That's how I'll justify it.
Got you. So you're going with Logan.
Yeah. Miz is essentially your version of Johnny Cage from Mortal Kombat, where he thinks he's this giant A-list celebrity, but he's really not, and it's all in his head.
This has so many implications.
Bobby Lashley and still.
I'm going with Theory. You guys know my pick on this.
Yeah, your whole theory is walking out with every single singles title is bonkers to me.
It's bonkers to me too, but I just think it's crazy enough that they'll do it.
Oh my God. I think they would get so much backlash and heat.
You think so?
Yeah, I don't think that would be a fan favorite move if Theory walked out with the US title and both Universal Championship titles. I think
no one's ever done it. No one's ever done it.
Yeah, and if you're gonna do it, is Theory the guy you do it with?
But my thing is this: is that I think it just sells people like you. Do you think Vince would ever do that?
Do I think Vince with Theory? I think so. Sure. Here's where I think I will believe your version of that story. If Vince is still the head of the guy, head of creative, he's still Vince McMahon. He is the face of the company. Sure, I think Vince pulling the strings and helping Austin Theory become the belt collector of the division, and everyone hates it because it's Theory getting the golden push of the John Cena, but he's the heel version of it, and Vince is the catalyst of the reason why it's going down. I buy that 100%. Because it's just like, well, Theory, you don't deserve it. Vince McMahon's giving you all these opportunities. He's having people go out there and make stipulations that cater to you. And that's a fun way to book it for Austin Theory. But right now, Austin Theory is going out and getting his shit kicked in by every single member of the roster because he's no longer Vince's guy, because they're trying to separate him from that story, like I said that they should do when we talked about it. He's like, Daddy's not here anymore, buddy. And now he's getting his ass kicked by everybody. They're trying to remove him from the Vince was your golden boy because I don't think they really want to talk about Vince on TV right now.
Well, they did Monday. They said your daddy's not here.
They did, but they didn't. So the smart fans knew what they meant by it, but they never said his name.
Right.
And realistically, if anyone is Vince's boy and Daddy's not home anymore, it's Roman Reigns.
It's Roman.
Yeah.
I'm going with Theory, everybody. I know it's not the popular thing, but I don't care.
Yeah, and I think Theory's cash in is I mean, if he does it, sure, that's WWE. But I think going forward, I think now with this new regime, I think his cash in is you can almost guarantee it's going to be unsuccessful.
Wow.
And new
of course, the main event and new Brock Lesnar.
My heart wants to say and new because I want to see Roman go in a different direction. But when I think that WWE booking and still, if I had to put money on it, I don't think he cashes in. I think he may attempt to try to cash in, but it's unsuccessful.
I think we get the cash in, and I think we get this with the U.S. title. I think he has all the gold.
Man, I would love to make a bet with you, but I have no money or nothing to bet on.
We could bet
That will not be the story.
High five bet. Okay?
All right, high five bet.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. We'll talk about it more tonight because we're live at 7:30.
Yeah.
And tomorrow, SummerSlam, we will be doing a watch along. I just don't know where I'll be. So we'll see. Anthony, anything?
We're closing now? You don't want to stick around any longer?
Nah, I got things to do, bro. 7:20. Got to get your gym and clang and bang. I am in training. You know, I am going to wrestle soon. So I'm actually training. I'm actually going to there's a gym, there's a ring, literally a stone's throw from my house. So I'm going to be taking bumps in about an hour. So yeah.
Who's school or gym?
You know, for some reason it's called Ultimate Championship. Oh my God.
Is it a wrestling ring or a boxing ring?
It's a wrestling ring.
Oh.
I don't know what I'm telling you. Ultimate. Let me see. Where is it? My God.
Yeah, we missed the Mysterio match. We were just told. Maybe that's where we get our turn for the Mysterios. I was told I'm an idiot and that it would be terrible to turn him, but I think they swerve us, and I think Mysterio is the heel in this, and Dominic is the golden face baby, the golden baby face. But that's another one I got some flack on the podcast for.
So Ultimate Wrestling Academy, they're right in Claymont and 950 Ridge Road. I can literally walk there. It's like a 5-minute walk. I was doing a lot of work with them prior to my channel started getting popular, so I had to stop going. But I'm making time now because yesterday was my last day of work. I'm off for 3 weeks, so you guys are gonna see some footage of me bumping and yeah. So if you guys live in the area, Ultimate Wrestling Academy, 950 Ridge Road. Sweet.
I think I'm going to start working out on Monday. I have to hold myself accountable and start doing it. I think I'm going to start Monday. Start doing my yoga again. Do some at-home body, just free weight, not free weight, but at home, just body weight exercises. I think that's my goal starting Monday.
Well, stick to it, bro. All right, guys, let me get out of here. Love everybody.
Closing. If you want to find me, I am on all social media, Anthony Blackwell Jr., or you can just search the Tornado Tag Podcast on all social media. We just finished our 167th episode last night. We just broke 200 subscribers, but I just had someone unsubscribe. So you could be that person to be 201 again. But on our channel right now, we have some cool things like our last podcast that was we're live every Thursday night at 7:30. We just did the future of WWE, some heated debates on there, but it's all love. It's all fun. Pro wrestling crate unboxings are on there. Interviews with Alpha Jr. just dropped. And then my vlogs that I started doing because I do professional wrestling commentary all over on the YouTube channel. So if you guys have not subscribed or have not checked out my content over there, please do so. Let me know what you think. But yeah, Tornado Tag Podcast is part of the IWEP network.
IWEP network. And here's the actual YouTube channel, everybody, Tornado Tag Podcast. So there we go.
Office interview is doing really well. 63 views.
Nice.
That's our third highest piece of content. So people are kind of liking the other content more than the podcast, which is kind of heartbreaking, but whatever gets new eyes. If it's short, bite-sized pieces of content that people can consume, we'll do it. But it's kind of eye-opening that more people are caring about me interviewing people in my vlogs than my podcasts, which hurts my heart because I really want to be a podcaster, but maybe I have to rethink some things.
No one likes you, bro. That's what it is. No, you're ugly.
No, I think they like me more than they like the podcast is the problem. It's just like, yeah, you want to be a chef, but everyone they want you to be something else, you know?
Listen, you're good doing this. interviewing people, having a show like this. I'm not saying your podcast isn't great. It is. It's very informative. But 100% disclosure, bro, I would do a channel. I would do another channel on just wrestling alone, just you, and pull another co-host. Pull Ryan in with you.
Brian.
I'm actually Brian.
Yeah.
The guy's like a freaking wrestling encyclopedia, you know, and have fun. Do what I do. Do what I do best.
Brian is definitely.
Do what I do best.
Yeah, Brian is definitely. That's my dude, man. Like, and it's not no shot or shade at anybody else on my show, but I can say, hey, Brian, I'm going to a thing today at 8:30 in the morning, and Brian's not a morning person, and he'll be like, all right, man, I'm there, and he shows up. And for the first couple times, I always said, Brian, like, you're with me. I will go in this place and I will work my balls off to make up for my work and your work. Because when Brian first joined the podcast, man, it was uncomfortable for him to move around. It was uncomfortable for him to stand on his feet for long periods of time. He was bigger. He's a big dude. And since kind of coming out of that shell, and he's very introverted too. He don't like to be around people. He don't like that's. Like he would sit in his house all day. Like the pandemic for him, he was bred for the pandemic. And he came out of his shell. He shows up at shows. He outworks me sometimes where he just runs around like a psychopath, and he matches my energy and really represents the podcast very well. That's my guy, man. Brian's my right hand.
Shout out to Brian. And
what
Richie,
are you doing? Are you riding a bike?
He's riding to work. Richie, I sent you an invite 8 hours ago, but thanks for being here.
I don't know if y'all can hear me. I don't know if you guys can hear me.
We hear you.
Right. Yeah. You're sounding like broken up on my end. I don't know if it's StreamYard, but
who's real quick because I gotta go. Who's your pick? Who's your pick to replace Riddle?
Who's my pick for what?
Do we even need to ask him?
Who's your pick to replace Riddle?
Hold on. I'm coming right back.
You know what he's gonna say. Let me in.
I'm gonna get the graphics.
Thank you, Chrissy. Chrissy subscribed with her son's account. There it is. Take all the accounts in your house, your mom's account, your dad's account, your brother's account, your sister's account, your kid's account, your grandma's account, and subscribe to both of our channels and help us out.
All right, Richie. So is this your pick right here? The Fiend?
I got it's gonna be out of 3 people. It's gonna either be Bray Wyatt, Carmelo Hayes, or Johnny Gargano. That's the only 3 people.
Carmelo Hayes. Wow.
Okay. Well, I put down here that you picked the Fiend. So we'll see. Listen, tonight, 7:30, get on everybody, because I may be going to SummerSlam if things work my way today. I had to get out of here. I got so much to do. Thank you, Richie, for jumping in last week. Oh,
dude, I just thought of something interesting, too, when he said Carmelo Hayes. What if Braun Breaker has a little stint, like he shows up at SummerSlam as the NXT champion?
I hate him.
You don't like him?
I hate him.
I think he's good.
Braun Breaker's not my cup of tea. Not even a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So about tonight. Anthony, thanks for jumping in. Richie, thank you for jumping in for your 5 minutes with your bad connection riding your bike. Thank you for everybody that interacted in the chat. I had to get out of here. I'm going to go clang and bang, baby, and I'm going to get in that ring and show everybody that, hey, SWA, be ready for me, whether I have a match or not. Joey Conway, I see you. Anyway, Anthony, thank you so much. Appreciate you. Everybody, hug your family members. I promise tomorrow. Pray every day, because you got to pray to make it today. And for this guy, he always once he said, what do you always say at the end before I get off, where you try to get in? He goes, hey,
we came here to talk wrestling and chew bubble gum, and we're all out of bubble gum.
Yes, Roddy Piper. Everybody, they live. As always, do what I do best, and that's, as Mikey says, or even Jenny B, stay tantalizing. I'm out of here.
Obey.